I'm here with Chris Lindblom from Lyman and Mark 7. In this video, we're going to give you an update on this crazy year that's just transpired, what Lyman and Mark 7 is doing about it. Gavin Yu here from UltimateReloader.com. Again, I'm here with Chris Lindblom. Chris Lindblom is the marketing guy for Lyman and Mark 7. Thank you for joining me here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I mean, we've met a lot of different other places. Finally, great to be out at the ranch.
Yeah,
the ranch.
There's no SHOT Show this year, which is a huge bummer. So I'm glad that you could make it out for a visit to the Ultimate Reloader Ranch. Tell me about your trip over here from the airport.
Well, flying into Seattle, I knew I had about a 2-hour trip or so.
Yep.
Headed this way, and being from Connecticut, our roads are a lot smaller. Like they're shorter, they turn more, and these roads are just long, straight. And before you know it, I didn't realize, but there was police lights behind me. Apparently, from what he told me, I was doing 87 and a 70. I could have swore I was doing speed limit, but yeah, within a half an hour of landing in Seattle, I netted myself a nice $158 speeding ticket. So. Hey, at least it'll be memorable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It could have been worse. I could have got a court date, then I'd be out here again,
So if you had the bumper sticker, drive it like a rental, basically, then you were following.
Yeah, I didn't even know Jeep Wranglers could go 87 miles an hour, honestly. I got that because I figured, it's coming up to a mountain, so I didn't want to get a sedan. So, and good thing I did too, by the way.
It's an adventure getting here. Yeah. Glad that you make it. So here's what I thought we would talk about is this has been the most ridiculous year ever. What's happened, kind of what you guys at Lyman and Mark 7 are doing about this unprecedented year that we've had, and kind of maybe a little bit of looking to the future. So let's review the messed up year that this has been. A little over a year ago, COVID.
Yep. COVID, when COVID first popped off, obviously nobody really knew what was going on. Nobody, there was, is it a pandemic? Is it just a flu or whatever it is? But our industry, the firearms industry, reloading industry, being who they are naturally, started supplying. Yep. And that's just what we do. We see something that could be an issue and we go into it. And then on top of that, what happens next? Right after the pandemic starts,
Civil unrest.
Like
we've never seen before. I mean, public sentiment changing within weeks. Yeah. And just I just remember reading some of the things that were happening and thinking, are we really debating whether or not like the cops are the good guys or the bad guys? It was crazy. And that was like punch number 2, right? So yeah. COVID was like, boom, are you even going to be able to get toilet paper? And then we had, boom, the whole civil unrest thing. And then it's an election year as well.
So a world lockdown,
yeah,
civil unrest. There's people that, completely divided and literally fighting on the streets. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, legislation that is hyper aggressive beyond what it normally is. Mm-hmm. That just added to an insane demand hike, which, the supply, there wasn't a shortage in supply, but there was an increase in demand.
Sure.
Which people have to understand there's two different things. There's, a lack of supply, which means people just can't produce as much or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But the real problem was the increased demand and the inability for companies like us as well to keep up with that. So it created those large lead times that you're still seeing today.
So take a look at my channel. A year ago, if you look at my numbers, you could tack on about 75% of that in new subscribers over the course of the year. And a lot of you that are new subscribers have said, hey, I've never reloaded ammunition before. I need to get into it. I'm all frustrated. I can't find primers and all this. And to me, actually, this is nothing new, right? If there's major unrest, major incidents involving guns in the news and stuff like that, there's going to be a run on components and there's going to be a run on supplies. And so you have to think in terms of long term, right? So if you're thinking about reloading equipment and getting into it, buy what you can now, get on the inventory alerts, and just be prepared to wait. It's not, I know what you want to hear, but it's the unfortunate reality. And if we can treat each other well and have this long-term perspective, I think it'll be a lot better for everybody.
Yeah. And, we see, I'm a shooter. I know you're a shooter as well. Mm-hmm. We're all in the industry of finding components right now or finding ammo or whatever it is. And we have to just remember that while we're all trying to buy like crazy, there's been they kept claiming 8 million gun owners last year, or new gun owners, and then that's not slowed down. I mean, people taking their pistol permit classes all across the country at record numbers. It's not just the original group of people trying to buy ammo for themselves. It's now an increased new group of people, the new gun owner, that also is they can't find ammo for the first gun that they bought, and they really want to buy that and shoot and stuff like that. So, they're trying to find new avenues.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling you, as you said, there's a whole bunch of new subscribers to your channel. We've seen a huge spike in young shooters, young reloaders coming to our website and social media and stuff like that. Which,
like Lyman, for instance, an established brand.
Yep.
A lot of the guys that reload ammunition, they're retired or whatever. Now you've got this influx of, and I've seen it on the channel too. A lot of young people, people in 18 to 25 years old, whatever, 30 years old, and it's a whole new, fresh audience.
Yeah. So our old demographics used to be the vast majority were 55 plus. Like that was our, coming to our website, looking at our media and things like that. Less on Instagram side, but just altogether across the board. I think summer last year, we actually had a momentum shift. Our number one demographic was 25 to 35-year-old, and they were consuming all of our how to reload stuff. They were looking at, reloading kits, and all these different things that obviously a new shooter or somebody that really just wants to find ammo or find a different avenue to get ammo would look for. So, and again, I'm not saying that it shifted to where, it used to be 55 plus and, 25 to 35, and then it swapped. No, they both went up. One just went up a lot faster.
Yeah.
And that's, that's a part of it. Part of that huge demand increase is just that incredible new shooter that, wasn't there before.
So tell me about, Lyman and Mark 7 are now the same larger entity, essentially. Two different companies, but under the same, ownership and all that. Different issues with production and different capabilities. And I know that was part of the reason that Lyman wanted to bring Mark 7 on board is, hey, look at this awesome technology. We've got the manufacturing scale. We've got the manufacturing and engineering in-house resources and all that. Tell me about what it's been like in the last year in terms of the issues that you've had keeping up with demand and sourcing things, all that.
So, just to hit back on it, Mark 7, when we acquired them, they were a small company. They outsourced all of their manufacturing, to small little manufacturing companies. Their engineering was a bit in-house. They outsourced some of it. But it was a great product. They designed something great. It was designed by people that actually shoot a lot, a lot, and they needed something like that. So the product they produced is great. Their manufacturing needs, their engineering needs, and their customer support needs weren't really there. But that's where we decided, this just makes sense. That fits. So we had all these plans over 2019 to bring everything in-house and bring it up to the, line facility, start manufacturing, getting out of that, third-party manufacturing model that it was, and get the vast majority of the press made at our line facility in our own factory. Then 2020 hit, and that's just like throwing a wrench in anything. Obviously, 2020 hit, and we had to do that. Still, we had to find a way to do that, and but do it under the guise of we have all these products that are Lyman products that we need to produce, and it's hard to source materials, and we still had some stuff going out to local manufacturers to do certain things, and they were having issues.
And actually, if you haven't seen it, you should check out the Lyman factory tour that I did in Connecticut, because in that video you'll see how Lyman as a company has this unique capability for one operator to keep multiple CNC machines running, locally sourced castings, for instance, for the presses, in order to make the equation work, to be able to sell products that are designed and then sourced from materials and produced all in the U.S. Right? And that in-house capability is something that other manufacturers don't have.
Well, that's where our model got lucky. Our company got lucky in the fact that we do a lot of manufacturing in-house. It's the biggest struggle is working with smaller manufacturers right now that can't source things, or their lead times are also increased. So say we didn't manufacture any of our own stuff, every little piece and component of all of our products would have to be perfectly scheduled and produced by all these different things. And if one of those doesn't produce on time or can't,
Right.
source something, that just pushes the lead time
Weakest
back on
link kind
everything.
of thing, right? Yeah.
And there's just too many variables there that can destroy a lead time. And
Right.
that's where you're seeing it. You're seeing some really long lead times in some companies. We have a lead time too because we can only manufacture at such a rate to meet it with the demand. But some of these lead times are because the industry can't keep up. Not just that one company. They can assemble at a certain rate, but at the same time, all those little manufacturers may not be able to produce as fast.
So let's talk about new products. Now we're going to have a separate video for Mark 7 2021 products and status, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But in general, at a high level, we've got Apex 10, for instance, that was launched. That's been in the works for over a year. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been in works for a while. We planned on launching it late last year, but when we say we planned on launching it, we're not going to launch something until it's to our standard.
Right.
So what we do is our team of engineers, they work on these new products and work on, every little thing. Then we get production samples and we build one, and then they test it. They test it like crazy. And if something doesn't go as well as they want it to, it's not like we're just like, okay, that's fine. Let's just get it out there. No, they go back into the books. They re-engineer it, they rebuild it, and we put it out. So our plan was last year, but because, things here and there maybe didn't turn out, and then on top of that, COVID kind of pushed a lot of things back. COVID, the pandemic, all that stuff. We were able to put it out though, and I think we did a phenomenal job putting out the press in the time frame that we did do, which is like a month and a half, about a month ago. So.
Yeah, so that was essentially getting to the finish line with an existing effort. And then on the Lyman side, it's really been about fulfillment more so than trying to do a whole bunch of new stuff. I know a lot of people are just more concerned right now with, I just want to get what you guys already have rather than see new products launched and I can't even sell you a reloading press, right? Or whatever.
No, we love putting out new products. Like it's so exciting. It's fun to get stuff out to everybody that, may fill a niche for one of you guys out there or anybody in general. But at the same time, we had a responsibility to what you guys need. And at that point, fulfillment is huge. We did have a lot of resources allocated to the Mark 7 Apex project and those, components there. And then on top of it, a lot of our engineering, machining, things like that are going to fulfillment because, you got to get dies. You can have cool new toys here and there, but we have to get dies out. And we have to get presses out. We have to get all that stuff out. And I know that everyone needs and wants them to get loaded.
So let's address the number one question that you all are going to ask in the comments. I know it head on. Is Lyman going to build a primer factory?
Well, actually, our new facility in Texas. No, I'm joking. No, components, man. Components are the biggest pushback we have.
Yeah.
I see it, I read it, we all know it.
Right.
How are you going to reload? Why would I reload if I can't find components?
Yep.
I am the same way. I'm always looking for components all the time. But it is what it is. The industry is right now a complete lack of supply for the demand. And
And there's multiple variables, right? If you get a surge in ammunition production, that's going to basically sop up all of the reserves for things like shell casings and primers and bullets and even powder, right? So everything affects everything else.
Some of these large ammunition manufacturers that would put out components before are no longer putting out components because their main goal is to put out ammunition. So they're actually pulling back on their components. So they're going to put it all towards ammo where we're hoping for some components to come out and they're just not kicking out as much as they used to.
Yep, and it's a pretty complicated business model. You can't just create a primer factory overnight. And then there will be, we're in a unprecedented surge, right, in ammunition sales and in firearm sales. Every industry pro I've talked about, every industry insider has echoed that same thing. Things will recover eventually. To what extent? We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly.
No.
But this unprecedented demand is going to let off to some extent, and you will be able to get primers. It is a matter of waiting it out, and it's really, really frustrating. And
and I don't know if you guys have seen any primer factory videos, but they stand, people making them have to stand in water or oil or whatever it is because it's static. It is. You can't just do that. You know, you can't just pop up, oh, I'm just going to make primers today. There's lots behind that, and that's going to be our funnel for a little bit of time.
Well, maybe I'll go down to the CCI factory. They're actually within driving distance of here, pretty close to where I went to college. That'd be kind of a fun thing. Yeah, we feel your pain. We want you guys to be able to get primers. Again, patience. If you have some that you can share with a friend, by all means do that to unblock them. I'm doing that. I can't share with all 200,000 of you. I'm sorry.
Well, then you weren't planning properly.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Jeez. Well, that's awesome. Anything else looking forward, towards this next year that you want to mention?
Well, I mean, apart from we do have things in the line here. I can't say what they are. Obviously, I'm not going to say what we have coming out, but we are pushing forward with development of new products. We have product development team that's constantly looking towards new stuff, and there's some really exciting stuff that I'm excited about. I know everyone's going to be hyped about. So, that there is that. I'm not going to get into any details with it, but there is new stuff coming for both Lyman, Mark 7, things like that. So, just look out for that, and I'm sure you'll expose those pretty rapidly.
Make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah,
more good stuff coming up.
But just wait on this primer stuff. Like you said, it doesn't last forever. How long it lasts, who knows? Everyone speculates. They think they know when it's going to end. Nobody really knows when it's going to end, but just hang tight. It'll get better.
Yep.
It'll get better.
Well, that's a good summary, I think, of the last year. Chris, thank you for joining me here at Ultimate Reloader. We also got that Mark 7 video. You're going to want to check that out.
Yeah, if you don't mind real quick, your channel's been doing great for us at Lyman in terms of helping us, get our products out to you guys, explain some of our products and stuff like that. And, I'm in the comments all the time reading. I know a lot of guys at Factory. I appreciate everybody. I read all your guys' comments. I read everything you guys have been putting out, good and more, hypercritical, which I'm fine with. It is what it is. But no, I appreciate the channel, what you do for this community. You're a great representation of the reloading community in general. Like you said, in one of your comments, one of your responses to a comment, you're going to keep on showing things in the reloading industry that need to be shown. What doesn't
Bottom
matter
shelf, middle shelf, top shelf. I want to show it all.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like we're going to continue to put out high quality equipment or quality equipment, even if there's a primer shortage. We're going to continue to keep grinding forward because if we slow down or if you slow down, then it all slows down. And we can't do that. So appreciate what you do, and appreciate all you guys that watch and comment and interact with us in the industry.
Likewise, it's great to be aligned with Mark 7 and Lyman and just the community that you guys are and the companies that you guys are. It's awesome. So that's our update. That means it's time to wrap things up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe with notifications because you're not going to want to miss the content I've got coming up. Also, links down in the video description. I'm on Patreon and I've got Ultimate Reloader shirts at the Ultimate Reloader store. Any support that you show is most appreciated. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading.